Lousy teachers trying to palm off our kids on us.
But Dad, by striking, they're trying to effect a change in management so that they can be happier and more productive.
Lisa, if you don't like your job, you don't strike. You just go in every day and do it really half-assed. That's the American way.
Oh, it's me. He's been harassing me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, is he making pig noises behind your back?
No, why would he do that?
I don't know. I'm just trying to figure this out.
Well, I'm trying to tell you, he is harassing me sexually.
Hey, John, how are you, huh? That ain't your cake, Philip. That's Simone's cake. You eat someone else's cake again, and I'm gonna give you a slice of Terry Special plain cake, and you won't 1 second of that.
I got it. I got it.
I took you to an intimate restaurant. Tender was suggested. And on the left, talk about lettuce horizontally.
Let's get ethical. I wanna get ethical.
So I was in class today, and we were learning about ethics and what makes a decision ethical or unethical. And I was wondering, what is ethics exactly?
I actually had that same question. I don't know. I heard it has something to do with like doing the right thing or something like that.
I just looked up in class and I found out it was the code of moral principles and values that governs a person's behavior and what is right and wrong. But what if one of your friends does something unethical? Then what do you do then?
I don't know. We should really ask a professional.
Hi, I'm Jay Mislidge. I'm the president and owner of Mislidge Brothers Incorporated in Pontiac, Illinois. My company manufactures a line of roofing products, and we currently sell them to 2,000 Home Depot stores in 50 states. We've been doing business with them for 5 years now. We have an exclusive deal with them, and I have 16 employees that work here at Mislidge Brothers. My understanding is pretty much, the way I see it is, ethics is how you treat people, how you do business, just morally the correct way to do it. And that's pretty much how we do it here, even with my guys on the shop. You have to be pleasant to people, and in return that's going to come back to you, just because that's how I want to treat my guys. And in respect, they're going to treat me the same way, and that's the same way we do it with our accounts.
Okay, so now we know what ethics is, but how is it really important, and how does it affect organizations in a way that's significant?
I think making an ethical decision keeps a company running the way it should, makes it run smoothly. That's how an organization should be built on, is ethical decision making.
That's true, because it might be hard to make that decision in the first place, but in the end, it's always the right decision.
Oh, a great example of that is Tylenol had to make an ethical decision because in 1982, people got into their packages and poisoned. So they had to do a recall, and they had to make the decision whether to do it in Chicago or the whole nation. And to save their reputation in the long run, they pulled Tylenol from the shelves all around the nation, so their reputation was saved.
They made a tough decision to make, but obviously it turned out better for them. they're still around and they're still doing really well.
Yeah, and they still maintain like all of their customers.
Yeah. Let's see why professionals think ethics is important.
If you do not do the right thing, it's going to come back and hurt you. We've been in business for 11 years, so obviously we're doing something right. With like our largest account is Home Depot. In 2005, they gave us 60 stores, test stores, and we had to perform and do the right thing. And each year we expanded, and each year our products outsold the other vendors that were in the store. So in 2010, we were able to receive all 2,000 stores by doing the right thing. That's just how it worked out for us on that. We got more stores, works more business because we were doing the right thing. We treat people. I call the counts when we need to. We try to stay ahead of the whole program, so we never have any issues. That's one thing we don't really deal with the general public here. It's all our orders come via the internet off a website there. So basically, if this phone does not ring throughout the day here, we're doing the right job, because if our phone rings, it's basically, since we don't do business with the public, it's because a store's calling us about there's an issue. So I try to avoid all issues I can and do what I need to do to make sure things run smooth.
My name is Michelle Payne, and I'm the Director of Annual Fund and Commencement here at Eastern. I think that ethics are important because they're the code of moral standards by which we kind of define how to run the course of the day. So, for example, if we're leading our days in an unethical manner, then it's going to affect every decision that we make throughout the course of the day.
Well, we get the general idea of ethics and yes, why it's important and how it can affect all stakeholders. But what happens if you do or do not make the ethical decision in the long run? Is it really going to matter long term?
I don't know. What would happen if you don't make the right ethical decision?
Well, I heard a little while back BP had a spill, and they've been having to deal with it for so long, and it's been such a long time. I don't understand, how it could possibly take so long.
Let's see what a professional has to say how they deal with it in their organization.
Well, the way I kind of look at it, and I learned this from another guy that I do business with when I started. He says you got to have a family here. That's how they do it. The guys that work here for me, I always take care of them. In return, like I said, I get the respect from them. Even like sometimes if things don't go right during the business day, if we have a mechanical failure, this or that, I have to morally pay the guy in my eyes, because he's here to give me his time, and it's not his problem that something broke down. So I want to make sure I take care of him, and in return, that's going to come back to me tenfold.
I think it depends on the decision. I think that there are some ethical decisions that you make that will never have an effect on anyone. But I think as a general rule, once you get into the mindset of making wrong ethical decisions, it's easier to make more. And the more unethical choices you make, the more likely you have a chance that there's going to be long-term effects of that. So just making the right decisions always is the best rule of thumb.
Okay, so you understand it's important, but how does a manager explain that to his employees and encourage them to make ethical decisions as well?
I know personally at my job, my manager makes it really clear that we're expected to do ethical training before we start, and we have to take surveys and quizzes, and we have to do a whole day of training.
In my job, we don't have any ethical decision-making process. You can basically be on your own. They expect you to just make the right decision. Let's see what some managers have to say.
It's not that I'm lazy. It's that I just don't care. Don't care? It's a problem of motivation, all right? Now, if I work my ass off and Initech ships a few extra units, I don't see another dime. So where's the motivation? And here's something else, Bob. I have 8 different bosses right now.
I beg your pardon?
8 bosses.
8?
8, Bob. So that means that when I make a mistake, I have 8 different people coming by to tell me about it. That's my only real motivation, is not to be hassled. That and the fear of losing my job. But you know, Bob, that'll only make someone work just hard enough not to get fired.
Well, with employees, I think it's just common sense how people should be treated, and in return, that's going to come back to you. That just makes all the sense to me. Why would I got 16 employees? I treat them the way I want to be treated, and in return, I get respect from them. And it seems to be a good program that way.
Well, for example, down at the call center, one thing that we do is we reach out to alumni to raise money on behalf of the university. And if anyone is manipulating the data in any way, it affects every one of our contacts with them. So for example, say someone was inputting data that they had gotten a pledge that they had never really received, then we're sending out information to them under the assumption that pledges have been made. So what it does, it's a trickle-down effect where it will, one bad ethical decision can impact people all over the university. So it's making the right decision for you, but it's also making the right decision for everyone else that comes into contact with that person.
Yes.
So, I saw my good friend steal some office supplies. What do you think I should do?
Well, you should probably really report it.
But he's my good friend. I don't want to get him in trouble.
Yeah, but it's probably the ethical thing to do. You really need to tell your boss about it.
Alright, I guess I'll tell him.